Hey everybody, welcome to BombSquad. I'm Dan Stacy, and David is dying, and you are about to witness my...
You waited for the... You knew it was coming.
I did, I saw it. You are about to witness... You were about to witness my nerdy family and I use silly voices and exploding dice to tell a good story. He got it out! And, David.
Yes!
RPG MRE for today.
We are going with something a little more processed, but quite delicious, and it's called... Everybody together. Veggie straws.
And straws.
We also have... And it really is a straw, right?
Yes.
Like a,
My baby boy loves to walk around doing that.
So I also brought green pea crisps. Again, they're relatively low in calorie. Although someday I want to actually measure out what an ounce is in a handful sense. But the green pea, we've all decided, are not quite as good once you've had a regular veggie straw.
Better for you.
Yeah, but the same calories.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. I mean, it's still a dried pea crisp. So anyways.
They're really good. And it is a large, I think it's like 7 servings in a bag. And the servings are
one
like
of those giant bags?
130 calories. Yeah, so it's really, like compared to chips, even.
You can eat a lot.
You can eat a lot of veggie
A serving
straws.
size is actually what you think of in your head a serving size should be.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
you're like 2 Oreos. Who eats 2? Like,
Or peanut butter. Peanut butter
So
is the
true.
worst.
yeah.
Oh.
When you find out the actual serving size of peanut butter.
No!
Anywho, awesome. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
The sad music as we talk about calories. Thank you, Jeremy Soule. That was Northerner Diaries. Neil, check it out on YouTube, and you can also purchase it as well.
Oh, I thought it was Requiem for a New Year resolution.
That's good. All right, so if there's nothing further, we shall dive into the next episode of BombSquad. Okay, so where we left off, you guys just completed a combat with some terrifying underground insectoid creatures called Mawru, and you guys have defeated the queen. Tiri has knocked the last 2 remaining off into the darkness, and they flew
Legend
away.
point.
Oh yeah, why are you giving her a legend point?
Because you killed the babies with their mom's leg. Like
That was pretty good. So legend point, Tiri. If you haven't tuned in yet, I let the players, they each have 1 legend point per session to award to another player, just to encourage role play and everything. So, okay, so we're actually, speaking of Tiri and the leg she ripped off, your luck call that was like 2 episodes ago is finally coming to play. Because as you bat those things away and you land down from the air and you just kind of tossing it over toward the dead body. As it hits the upside down an Ilyad had sliced open the guts, and you can see little bits of things coming out. As you toss the leg, it hits the guts, and a like half-eaten ball of flesh falls out of the Mawru Queen where you had hit it with the leg, and right into Brick, right at Brick's feet. And Brick, as you pick up, you notice there's something in there that doesn't look like decaying, digested flesh. You find another one of these.
Ooh. We have a letter. So are they made of
You got mail. You
Yeah.
got mail.
They seem to be leathery-ish in sense, and they also seem to have something you notice in the upper corner that I didn't draw because I'm not a good drawer, but the same symbol that Demeter has on his hammer of that hand scooping a mountain out of the earth.
And that's the Diatos.
The symbol of Diatos, yep. And so you can probably surmise they're probably blessed with some kind of divine magic to withstand a lot. And on top of that, they seem to be made of a leathery type material. You're not sure if it's actually they used leather or if they did some kind of magic to make the paper have that. So, anyways, we had some requests to hear what the journal pages were. But Ryan doesn't like to read my cursive.
It's like it's really good handwriting, but it's so good and artistic that I don't know.
Try it.
I'll try. All right. 47th of Morotos.
Yes, Morotos.
Events have taken quite the turn the past days. My deepest fears were realized 5 days ago when a family of frost giants attacked our camp. Bitter fighting. See, I told you. I'm embarrassed.
It is hard to read.
Bitter fighting to match the bitter cold. First father be praised. It was a young mother and her first mate and only one of their young, perhaps the only big enough to hunt. First father is Diatos, correct?
You've heard. That's his, like, colloquial name.
Okay. Edik was first, though in truth, he would not have lived much longer as the injuries from his fall had become infected. Yet in his fevered state, as the male giant grabbed him, he bit deep into his cold flesh, drawing that eerie blue blood as it screamed in pain. He thrust his walking stick into his eye so hard it burst. It's not how you do cursive B's, just saying.
Seems how I'm the only one that writes in cursive anymore.
It's a dead language. More people know Latin than cursive.
It's probably true.
I still know cursive. The creature threw him against the rocks, dead in the snow. Yasha and Helene fell as the battle ended.
Oh no, you're right. It is Joshua. I suddenly remembered.
That's a typo. It's like a scribble.
Not everything can be preserved.
Something had separated the male from the other. Something is what I'm putting into. It's a scribble. I can't make up the word.
It's her diary. It's legit.
Right.
I left all my typos in there.
Hitler had separated the male from the other two and wounded the young one severely, so the female took off with it fleeing. The male, in a rage, grabbed Joshua, and despite the slashing of Josh's axe, began to gnaw on his shoulder and arm. This was too much for Helen. To bear. And so she jumped upon the giant's back, hacking his neck with her blade. The three, in a bloody mess, tumbled off the cliff. We'd camped upon the cliff we had camped upon, and all died in the fall. I think those two would have had it no other way, than to die together. But though we have lost them to the flesh of the first father, their sacrifice has been rewarded tenfold. For they fell upon the ancient ruins. Ancient ruins we sought. The giant's body crashed through the antechamber of the ancient hall, revealing the way into the mountain. This means the map of the Provokira is true, and that's the end.
Okay. And so, flavor-wise, what happens is, it's written in Dwarvish, so Demeter's whispering it, trying to teach Breck how to read Dwarvish, and he's reading it out loud.
Yes!
So he's like, every time you're like, no, that's a
there's like a cultural colloquialism, and I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
So, you have a couple here now. The other one, the first one you found, talks about them first coming in the mountains, and the other one's talking about once they're in there. So, I'll give these. Actually, you can hold on to these because you want to start.
Does it say how many actually made it into the mountain itself?
I don't think there's a
3
number
died
there.
already.
Right. And Demeter tells you he knew of at least 10 dwarves that left directly from their clan's mountain home. But she could have picked up more because they went to a place where people had said they found this old map and these texts from this ancient provoke. So they could have picked up more dwarves on the way. He's not sure.
And how long ago did they go?
About almost a year ago now.
So she's been digesting this for like a year?
Well, that's when they left their home. You don't know when.
Oh, okay.
When she actually feasted upon whatever dwarf was holding on to it. And on top of that, it's a blessed type of thing. So that flesh may have not even been You don't know exactly. It was just in her stomach, and it's blessed with this divine magic, so it doesn't corrupt. It takes a lot to actually destroy it. So. So basically what I'm saying is magic.
Magic. Because magic.
So yeah, everyone I assume is just sitting around listening, and Tweeter's like, yeah, that's.
And Brick is like super embarrassed. He's like shooing to the away, like.
Ingrid's just laughing because she knows Dwarvish. She knows everything.
The cat just looks at you and goes, "That was the worst story I have ever heard in my life."
You haven't heard the story of when my friend and I, when we were kids, found some rocks, and then we threw the rocks at an old lady, and that old lady, I'm waiting for someone to stop me, and no one is.
No,
so,
I was going to stop you, and then you said throw rocks at an old lady, and you had my interest.
Yeah, that was
there.
my first.
You nasty cat!
Excuse me, everybody, but I am filthy.
Oh, hon, dear. And Tiri will walk over take off her somewhat soiled bandana and just say, "You've been baptized into a new life. Get used to it. And you'll want to pick up one of these." And she'll tie the bandana right back around.
For a moment, I felt loved. And then
Get your own mother.
something happened.
Get your own mother.
I'm gonna go find the troll. Or ogre.
Go hang out with him. So, what do you guys want to do?
Okay.
I would like to find a way out.
Yeah, how do we get out?
We saw some glowing light over in the corner.
Oh, that's right. The orange.
Wasn't that eggs?
Yeah, I'll go put out the lights.
Alright.
Let's
Tiri,
some perception.
Yeah, so roll Tiri, you're
I'm
smashing.
not looking, I'm just smashing it.
She starts
I'm
smashing.
just looking for shinies.
Roll for shinies. Roll for everything else. So perceptions. And you better hurry because the lights are going out. Nah, Demeter casts his
7.
light. 7.
23.
23. 8? Okay.
No shinies.
Okay. So
Ingrid and Brick are holding on to Ilyad's ears.
So Ingrid, you're pretty sure you noticed something in one of the piles of bones over here, and you call Brick over to start digging around in it. Ilyad, while they're doing that, you walk over towards this direction, over here, so it's towards where...
Down?
No, it's not on,
Okay.
but it doesn't matter.
Just wanted to mention it.
Right, so you're heading over towards where there was that one group of eggs where the larva popped out to attack you. On that end, you see that it does another drop way down, and you catch to the opposite corner of the eggs, there's a stream of water starting to go down. And you can tell that you could possibly ride that water down. It seems like a pathway. You could almost follow it. It would be treacherous to go down, but it leads further down into the mountain. The only way back up is to climb up towards where you guys came from before. But that's going to be a little rough climb. It's covered in that old webbing stuff. That's why you guys just slid right down. Everything's slippery and wet, so that would be a difficult climb there. But you also think you hear the water hitting into some larger body of water. So there might be an underground lake down there. Ingrid, roll me a d6.
1.
1. That's what you needed. You actually find... It was a 1 or a 6. If you rolled a 1 or a 6, you had it.
Oh, nice.
So you find another one of these in the bones there.
What the frick is all this paper? Nothing shiny.
You catch what you catch, and what I'm utilizing is your street rat again, like we did before. Your eye is just, even with a bad perception roll, you're just naturally inclined. So Brick is like kind of flicking bones aside, and when he does it, you catch a glint of something, and what it is that symbol shining for a second, the symbol on the edge of the paper.
Okay.
Yeah,
that shines.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a real shiny.
You tell to the void. So Demeter is very excited to come over and see. Oh, you found another one. Tell me, what does it say?
Oh dear, okay.
Oh, how the turntables.
At least I can read Dwarvish. Thy toast be praised. Clearly, Marbed.
Mankind.
Mankind?
No?
Oh, Ingrid, you must be so embarrassed! Oh my gosh!
Marched?
Marked.
Marked.
Every R,
Clearly
like-
marked. Yes. Marked.
See?
Yes.
Yeah, see?
Clearly marked.
I'm sure Zia was under stress when she was writing this.
Like, smacks Demeter just out of childish
How does he
irritation.
know what it says? But it's great.
You're sounding out the syllables, so he's just using his logic to kind of
Marked.
Yeah.
Clearly marked on Provo Kira's maps. We may be able to use them to traverse quickly once we can determine each pair of gates are still open and their location intact. Even more, they could be a quick escape out of the mountains if the uttermost hope is lost. For now, we are continuing deeper to see how far into the heart of the great arm the goblins have dealt. There is something in all this that bothers me, but I cannot put a finger on it as yet. This darkness plagues my thoughts and even my sleep. Perhaps it is the weight of so many good dwarves lost that darkens my mind. Yet I do not know. There is something else, a presence almost waiting in the shadows. Time will tell if I am right or simply going mad. By his life, cross out, sacrifice, we have life. May his body sustain us. Blah, 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 blah. Name.
Wonderful. Now once more, but with more passion.
You know, Demeter perks up.
Oh,
It's
It's
gone.
gone to the abyss.
We lost it.
Agility.
It floats down to that hole that Ilyad's
Oh, I'm really tempted to put that in canon there.
Then we'd have to go down.
Yeah.
Paper airplane sails across the camera.
I feel there is something in her words there. I feel the same. Do you not feel how cold it is here? Whenever we near the Mawru, it seems to get cold. And as we were descending, I noticed the same. That is not... We have Mawru in my home as well. I mean, they don't come to the cities or anything, but we have encountered them in our deeper delving. It is not something that is usual.
For them to be in this cave?
Not to be in this cave, but this coldness that seems to be around. Perhaps maybe it is something else then. Perhaps it is what I am tired. Perhaps it is what Zia was feeling as well. I don't know. But we dwarves, we are connected to the earth, and something is wrong. Even more than children being kidnapped by goblins and coldness and Mawru.
There's something more powerful at work.
Perhaps. Who knows? Who knows how far the goblins delved? Who knows what they could be up to? They worship strange gods, the goblins.
Well, if it's not real, it's nothing to worry about. If it is real, we'll kick its butt.
I like the confidence. So, to me, then the question is further down, further in?
We're supposed to go down, right? That's what...
Well, the children, as far as we know, are deep. So to me, down is where we go.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Ilyad, you spotted something.
Yeah. Didn't even think to mention that. If you walk over here to the other side, there is a stream of water. It sounds a little bit like there's something further down in. A little bit of a resonance. It could be an underwater lake. Hopefully. Or we just plunge into the abyss. But we saw how that went before.
And we are still here.
This is true.
Well, if it went bad last time, it probably won't be too bad this time. So let's just do it again.
The cat perks up. Is that how you live your life?
Mostly.
Fascinating.
I'm still alive.
That is the miracle.
And generally really happy. It's weird.
As you're like goofing around, something in his eyes sparks for a second, and he's like, there's like normally he has this like sarcastic sneer on his face at all, but his face gets like cat serious with like that, expressionless look, but his eyes glow for a second. There is something, isn't there?
Do you want scratches or something? I've never had a pet. I'm not...
Look, guys, look what I can do! And she goes and grabs a rock and tries to turn it into an inner tube.
Okay.
So that we can ride down the thing.
I like where you're going with this.
All of a sudden, you can't move.
Actually,
Brick?
maybe instead of turning
good.
a rock into an inner tube.
Just chilling. Just relaxing.
As she's going away, all of a sudden, you look over. Wait, Tiri, finish what you're doing.
Let's just cut the back off the spider and turn it into a little boat.
Ooh, I like that even better. Let's do it.
Well, and
Build things. It's what we do.
you've got an oar too with the leg.
Huh? See, we're all set. Nature provides.
There we go.
Part of the mountain's first father thing. Can you sharpen my spatula? And then I'll go and I'll like carve up the spider and start tying together sinews and making myself a little carcass that we can float down this river with. If we can get some string and maybe a rock or something as an anchor.
Yeah.
I have a frying pan. Frying pan of spikes. Yeah, so we got emergency anchor, couple of oars.
Demeter has the rope. He'll start helping you, and he's just.
Oh yeah, so we'll.
I must be honest. I've never thought of doing this with a Mawru flesh before.
Well, if you can't just poof out of the air, you gotta make use of what you've got. That's what life's about.
This is why I like to be with gnomes.
All right, so we'll rig it up, pull it together, and if you could harden it into a nice sturdy.
Yeah, I smell my special flavor in a different blue gum.
And maybe one to clean it as well. Although at this rate, what's it matter?
Oh, honey, you look great.
You can swim
Ingrid
down
could
and
probably
you'll be clean.
do like a prestidigitation.
Oh, could I?
Oh yeah, you got
Oh,
it.
okay, I'll do that.
Oh, glory.
Little like poofies come out and start poofing, you know, like. And then you like get all done up like
Is it your
7
spiders with like?
It's like
makeup
really
and stuff?
French with the big
Yeah.
hair. Like,
Yeah.
A bit much,
While that's
oh, it looks
happening,
great.
but I'll take it.
And without Brick is frozen on your move.
Yeah.
It's just right.
all of a sudden you realize that the cat is sitting on your shoulders now, whispering in your ear. She says,
Hey, buddy.
"There's something about you. You smell like something familiar."
Why? Do you smell your mom?
Please. My mother's been dead a very long time. Thank
That's
gods
dark.
for that.
Is everything
And he
alright?
he looks
great.
at you, and all of a sudden you feel the immobilization release. I'm keeping my eye on you.
And you, Kitty.
He jumps down and he does the butt to you as he walks away. And you've got to do better than that next time. And jumps up on Ingrid.
Brick would not tell anybody about that.
That's
Oh,
fine.
there you are, stinky feet.
All aboard?
Absolutely.
All right. We push off. I think we'll have Tiri roll agility to steer the boat when we go down.
I'll help you.
Sure,
Okay.
and you got assistance, so you got advantage.
Uh-oh.
Does it matter if the little dice explode if the first one is 1?
It does influence how I decide, but it is up to my discretion.
Okay. 10.
10
But
total.
I got a 1 on the 20.
Okay, nat 1. I like to play with the nat 1s and 20s if I can. Awesome. I love it. All right. So, you guys, you're kind of launching off in this carved out, and it's not quite a hard shell because you were using the abdomen, right?
Well,
of
it
the-
is hard because I use
Yeah.
my blue bubble.
Oh,
gum.
you used the blue bubble gum, right? So it's kind of squishy on the inside with this hard shell on the outside, and you got it all tied together. This anchor set up with the rope, and Tiri, you're excitedly in the back with one of the leg you ripped off is kind of like your oar. I'm picturing. So, and you're taking off from where the queen had dropped down. The water kind of bleeds through that nest of mush she had made, and it starts to get more of this descent. But it's like there's enough water to float the boat with you guys, especially because Ingrid can play with weights and stuff a little
So
bit.
it's not me and my armor is not like
No, because you have Ingrid with you with alteration. She can kind of mess with the physical reality. So you probably do this thing. It like starts to sink, and Ingrid's like, "Oh, I've got this theory, right?" And like all of a sudden, she basically like reduces the weight of your armor. I think is what she does. We'll say.
You mean Demeter?
Yeah.
I give him a
He's
look.
sitting up front, really excited. He looks back at you.
I'm sorry. I'm just worried about you, Demeter.
I worry about you too, my comrade.
Thank you.
So, you take off down, and actually things are going pretty well. Tiri's got the feel of it; it's flowing, and it's a gentle, steady descent. You're seeing it's actually a very interesting ride for a little bit. As the sound of the water, you could almost relax if it wasn't, because as you leave that space where the Marwu was, it starts to warm back up to a more typical temperature where you are. And the rotting food smells are gone, and there's stone flowers passing by, but slowly, especially Ilyad, are you sitting up front, or did you chill in the back?
I feel like I probably would be.
In the back?
No,
Up front? That's what I thought. You're up front,
yeah.
kind of looking out. You suddenly realize that you're picking up speed. And at first you're like,
the wind starts blowing in my
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Ears.
There's no earthly way of knowing.
Tiri singing some song back there. And like
Sounds familiar.
you're feeling nervous about it, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're coming up to like a waterfall that just drops straight, and Tiri's just singing her song. Ingrid's talking with the cat, and Brick and Demeter are arguing about who's heavier. You're all having this nice time because you're probably going down for like 20, 30 minutes, maybe a good amount of time. You've actually gone pretty deep, and the whole time you've been descending. And so everyone's in this chill time. You all heal up, by the way, too.
Oh,
so
good.
Back up to full health while you're chilling. Yep.
It's gonna matter.
This is just this time to relax. And Ilyad, you're
for that battle.
You're like, because you're on edge still from everything. You're just on edge, so you're the only one paying attention. And you all of a sudden you realize, but by the time, because it's really dark and the speed you've picked up now, you don't realize until you hit the edge and there's just a couple stone flowers to like make you see the sparkle of water, and there's foam, and then there's blackness, and you're like, and you guys all start dropping. You're just free falling. There's that moment where you're just like, and the abdomen slowly tips this way, spilling you out, falling into the water. So you all have one reaction to do something as you're plunging into the darkness.
Rick wants to know who's around, who's near him. Like, where's the baby?
Behind you. You guys are in the middle of the boat because you and Demeter are the heaviest. So you guys are sitting in the middle of the boat.
I am flying.
Yeah. So you want to cast that on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, you do have to roll for it because we're in like bullet time.
Oh no.
I'm throwing off the anchor and hoping it catches onto something.
Okay, roll agility for me on that one.
Could I like?
I died.
This is mean, but I think Brick would do it. Could I kick off of Demeter towards Tiri?
Yeah. No, definitely you could.
Okay.
What we'll say, let me roll a perception for Demeter. I think he would kind of get the idea of what you're doing, so he's going to go with you on it. And so whatever you do, he's basically assisting you with, and he's going to sacrifice letting himself fall. Because he thinks about the baby too, so because last time he did the resistance on it. So
17 on agility to hook something.
Okay, perfect. And what are you doing?
I just want to get my hands on the baby, but I guess Tiri, since the baby's attached to Tiri.
You're excuse me. You're trying to do kind of a similar thing to what you did last time.
Right.
You're just assuming let me take the hit.
And and I want to see where we're falling, so if I could, but that's probably a separate.
Yeah, I would say
like
you've got one or
perception.
the other, basically, if you use your time to look.
Yeah.
What I'll say, because Demeter helped, you could sacrifice your advantage on the roll to look, and you'll be at disadvantage on the roll. Because you're like, with his last effort, Demeter's giving you a little push.
Yeah, I'll do that.
With his sacrifice, you get a perception to see.
Agility?
Yeah. Tiri,
So disadvantage?
You're just blindly.
Yeah.
You feel it. You feel it lock into something, and the rope taunts for a second. We're gonna see what happens based on that. So in this moment, you've got a taunt rope. Ingrid, what'd you roll?
10.
10. So and your boon is what? It's a
Total of
5.
5.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna say you're transforming.
Well, I'm gonna hop on top of my walking stick.
For flying this time.
Like a balloon.
Yeah, okay. So what's happening is you're trying to get it, but you're upside down right now. And trying to right yourself as you're doing. So it does, here's what we're going to say. You get the flying boon on your broom, but you're hanging from it right now like this. And slowly descending. So it's slowed your descent, but you're not fully in control to be able to fly.
14.
14. And you're just to grab Tiri.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That was with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yep. So you're reaching out for her, and as you go to grab for her, all of a sudden her rope taunts and she starts to swing towards the wall of the waterfall. So you're forced, so you're falling behind. You haven't gotten a hold of her, but you are headed in the same direction as her. What are you doing, Ilyad?
I don't know if I can do this. I want to try and use slowed. Can I slow us all down? I don't know if it's on a target, so I don't know if I can do that.
Right, it's technically a bane, which you can't do.
Then
what boons do you have an influence that we could flavor in the same way?
Well, I was also going to try aura for like a shield of heal, a circle of healing.
Oh, interesting.
So as we hit, if we hit, when we hit.
You start healing right away. Yeah, we could certainly do that.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, roll for aura.
Presence and influence.
And does influence have heal? Can you heal with influence? I don't think you can. So you might need to cast it with
I do have heal. Yeah.
Right, but through presence or through influence?
Oh, it's through...
Heal does not have influence.
Okay, so you got to roll with your presence. The aura, whatever attribute you create the aura, you can only do boons and banes that are in that attribute. So if you want to do an aura of healing, you have to create your aura with your presence to then heal with presence.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
So D10 and D20.
Yep. For a 4 with presence.
Yeah.
Yep.
10.
10 total. And what's the power level for aura? I think it's a 3.
For aura.
Yeah, you
4.
don't even, a 4. Okay. So thinking what we do here. Okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to combine it with Brick's low roll as well. You're trying to cast, you're trying to create this, you're trying to grab your flute to just play, like it's your instinct to grab your flute and play, and you just reach out and you reach back because you were in the front and you just grab onto Brick, but instead of, so in that moment, you can't quite get the flute to play because you don't have both fingers at the moment, and as you grab Brick is falling at you forward, and that weight then pulls both of you, so you guys start descending much faster down, along with Demeter. Tiri is swinging on something, and Ingrid is floating down. Demeter and Ilyad and Brick are now tumbling down into the darkness. So you guys falling. Tiri, you swing, you caught onto something, but you swing towards the waterfall and hit into the waterfall. So roll a might to see if you can hold on to the rope as you hit the water. And Ingrid, you're floating down. Roll another to see if you can recast. We'll give one more because of the distance you're falling. At disadvantage 2 to try and get the flight going.
Okay. 17.
17, okay.
This one, this one. 21 still.
21.
Yeah.
So you got it. So you're like, as you're descending, you're kind of falling a little bit slow. You get your cane under you, and all of a sudden you're flying. And as you get control of it, you see the 3 boys pass by you, going down. And Tiri, you slam into the waterfall, and you're holding. You're able to, you slide down the rope to the end of the rope, and you're able to lock on. You get your feet in a thing, but you're not sure how much longer you can hold it because the water's just cascading down on you right now.
Where did this rope come from?
It was the rope Demeter had. And you guys had used, Tiri wanted an anchor. She had created an anchor with her spike thing.
That's right.
So, so as the boys tumble, you guys fall for enough time to really take in the thought, I'm falling. So it's this long descent, and all of a sudden, you hit a splash of water. And you fall into this water. You do take some damage because you did fall a little bit. So, you guys, let's see, where are we here? I've lost my, ad hoc.
Would we have figured that we were going into water since it's a waterfall that we're going off of?
Yes.
I think so.
I mean, you don't know, it could have just been a river that it fall into, but you've hit something that's deep, that is deep enough to like not make it as much damage as if you hit the ground, I'd say. Okay, so you take only 3 points of damage as you hit the water, each of you. And you're in almost complete darkness. As you hit the water, your lights are going on your hut are freaking out, is slamming, everything's error. Ilyad, roll a perception to see if you can see any of the other guys.
16.
16. Okay, so you pick up on Demeter. You see Brick. As he hits the water, Brick just starts sinking right away. But you see Demeter, and you and Demeter are able to lock on to each other. Not exactly hold hands, but you like see each other in the water, and you're kind of both able to swim and start swimming upwards. So you guys go as Demeter's sinking, and you both come up.
Demeter or Brick?
Demeter. Brick is just sinking like a rock.
Brick.
Yes. There's a reason his name is Brick.
This guy
over here.
And you're seeing the lights. He has like these little lights on the sides of his helmet, just for Ryan. And
thank you.
You see him They're slowly going into the darkness under the water. While you think about what you want to do.
I said, grab on, Tiri.
Yeah, so
To Tiri.
as your hands are just about to slip and Ingrid comes flying over, reaching out for you.
I have a flight speed of 10, so it might take a little bit. I'm coming!
I'm going to hang on until I'm picked up, because I'm not risking letting go of this and kicking out of a stream of waterfall and landing on anything, so I'm just hanging on until she gets to me.
Okay, sounds good. Roll me one more might with advantage since you've got a foothold, just to see if you can hang on. You're flying to her. Mm-hmm. Brick, as you're descending, you sink down and you actually hit the down at the bottom. You're still able to breathe right now. There's a certain amount of oxygen within your thing, but you can actually see the meter going down. It pops up as soon as it recognizes you're in water, and you can see breathable airspace is starting to sink. As you hit the ground, though, you look over, and I'm actually activating your lucky feet for you, basically here, because it's a good moment. As you land, you feel a skeleton hand grab onto you. I guess you don't exactly feel it, but you feel something put out, and you turn, and there's a skeleton hand grabbing on your hand, and you look over, and it's another dwarven skeleton, and it's just laying there on the bottom of the ocean, and it grabs on you, looks at you, and goes, and these bubbles come out, but they have just with the little light, you can see right in front of you with your 2 lights. It doesn't go very far. You can tell that it's cloudy in the bubbles that he's done, and it almost has this greenish tint. And in this moment, you get this flash of lying on the ground and something in front of you, some horrifying creature without a mouth, where the mouth should be, but it's just a solid face, rips open, shreds apart, showing the skeleton, which also tears apart to create its own mouth and sprays this green gas into your face, just going, and then the image goes away again. And you can remember that, but you can't pull it back up in your mind, but you remember that moment. And you notice tucked in the other hand of the dwarven thing is a tube with the dwarven symbol on it.
Do I know how much the oxygen is depleting?
You've got probably 2/3 per second. You probably have a minute of air.
Okay,
so within your suit.
I'm definitely gonna grab what the dwarf had.
Yep.
And I'm gonna I want to start to bring the skeleton.
You want to try and bring it up?
But then kind of realize.
As soon as you start, you push off from under the water, and your suit flickers for adapting to underwater location or something like that, and you feel little air bubbles starting to blow out your jets. It's trying to create a buoyancy, which all starts to deplete your air a little bit faster. But as you're doing, as you're doing that, and the skeleton grabs on, it starts clawing at you, and it's it's trying to bite you, and your shield's just going off a little. It's not doing any damage or something, but it's trying to claw its way. It's not going after what you took, it's just going after you.
Okay.
And you keep, every time it bites, you get a flash, that same flash of memory again. Boom, boom, you just see it.
Can I search how far can I see?
Not very, just
so
right in front of you. Yeah, because it's almost completely dark. You just have the lights that just give you enough space to see, if you were on a grid map, a 5-foot square, basically.
Okay.
Terry, what'd you roll while he's thinking about that?
22. Not let it
22.
go.
Yeah, you lock on and buckle in. You turn away so the pauldron is out of the water, and you're just holding on. And you see Ingrid slowly coming over. So she reaches you and extends her hand out.
Yeah. Come on, Tiri.
And then you hear, don't, you both hear, I don't want to get wet, I don't want to get wet. He rolled a nat 20 and 2 6s on D6s.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Just for fun. Okay, so all of a sudden you feel this darkness, not so much you feel, you see as he's going, I don't get wet, all of a sudden darkness is like rolling off of the cat as he's freaking out, and you feel like as you're looking at him, he seems to like a shadow of himself is getting larger behind it, and you just, these two arms just come and grab you and pull you off, even though you're holding onto the rope, and the rope just snaps, and it's holding you in the air, and you just hear, he really doesn't want to get wet, apparently. I can't believe I just rolled max, dude. That's amazing. Okay, so you guys start descending, I assume, or do you want anything else in particular?
No, we can descend.
Okay, as you're descending to find the boys, Ilyad, you and Demeter have just popped up out of the surface, and Brick has disappeared out of sight. Demeter's like, I'm going for Brick. Try to find the shore. And he dives back under the water.
Can I look?
You want to look around? Yeah.
Yeah, just how close am I? What can I see?
Yep. Roll perception. You're at disadvantage 3. It's not quite the blinded.
Okay, so I subtract 3 when I roll?
What do you have in perception?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
D10, I think?
Okay, so roll 4 d10s, take the
D8.
lowest. 4 d8s, take the lowest.
So I think I want to play off of Brick's phobia. This is like the first time he's been alone, and he knows no one's around. So this is the only time he'd be okay admitting to himself that he doesn't know. And so I think he's gonna kind of like lose himself in what he's seeing.
Yeah.
And he knows that the skeleton isn't like actually hurting him.
Right.
So he's just gonna
But
kind of
you are
like
having that memory. It's like
hold
your
on.
first memory to pop in your head.
Yeah. Keep holding on to the skeleton, and he's kind of gonna forget about the oxygen.
Okay. Perfect. Legend point for you, sir.
Thank you.
You're putting yourself in danger here. So Demeter is trying to swim down. He's going to roll to see you. You're running out of air. You got 5. Okay. You find the shore.
Okay.
As you're swimming, you can tell by the sounds, even with the waterfall, you're like focused really hard, and you feel like you hear lapping to one direction. You start swimming over there. What's your power level? Do you have telepathy? Check and see if you have telepathy. Yeah. You could talk to Demeter.
I thought about that.
Yeah, and you don't have to roll for that because you're not necessarily under time pressure now. So you can kind of send to him as a thought word, I know the shore, this direction, follow the mental thing. So meanwhile, Demeter is going to try and see Brick. Okay, so Demeter, as he's swimming, the girls are descending. He takes a really long time to see it, and you're just standing there holding it, and it's like, again, it can't quite pull on you, and it's like sliding down. And all of a sudden it releases, like it's not exactly a light in its eyes, but even with just eye sockets, you feel like all of a sudden life went out of it, and it just floats down away, and you realize you're at the red, you're out of air, and you can't suddenly breathe in, and that's what snaps you out of it. You take 4 points of damage as you're starting to drown, and in that moment, Demeter grabs onto you and just looks you in the face, and he's like, oh, and starts to try and pull up.
Can I I'm still kind of on the ground?
Yeah. Well, you're like floating in a little bit. You're starting to sink back down now because you've run out of air.
Could I grab Demeter and kick?
Yeah, sure.
Kick up.
Roll movement for me from your armor, actually.
Also, that damage should probably be on Brick, not the armor.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And sorry, what was it? 3?
3 for what?
The damage?
Oh,
4?
yeah, 4. 4 damage. Okay. Yep.
Okay. So movement. 17.
17. Okay. As you're falling down, all of a sudden, when your brain kicks back in, your HUD lights back up because it's directly linked to your neural system. And when you zoned out, the armor kind of starts to zone out. It just does the basic functions. And you're like, get out now. And all of a sudden it says, activating jetpack. And all of a sudden, you go blasting out of the water with Demeter. As you girls are descending, and you can see where Ilyad set down. He sends out the telepathic in kind of this radius around, so that you pick up on that telepathic thing and you know it's from Ilyad. And so you guys are coming down to where Ilyad landed as well, and the hands just kind of set you down. And you see, as soon as you get to the cat immediately jumps off Ingrid really, really far and high, like Tiri level jump over and lands next to her. It's just like, starts frantically licking himself, like just being near water freaks him out. And at that moment, you guys all of a sudden get splashed with all this water, and the cat goes, as like Demeter and Brick come blasting out of the water and slam down on the ground. You're going to take 2 points. Half of that damage is going to be lethal damage on Brick. So right now, Brick's max HP is reduced by 2.
Okay.
For starting to drown.
Sorry, was that not including the...
You took a total of 4 damage. Half of that will be lethal. So that's going to be 2. Reduce your max HP by 2. You took 4 damage. Reduce your max HP by 2. For Brick.
With his jetpack, is that like, was there a fire burst? Could it flash so that we see for a split second? Or
yeah, sure. Actually, this is perfect. This is where we're going to wrap the episode up, actually. Because as you flash, as that flash of light comes and the cat freaks out, you hear 2 guns cock. And in that flash, Ilyad, as you're standing up, there's 2 very overweight goblins holding pistols in your face.
Nice.
And that's where we're going to wrap the episode up.
Isn't it the come?
Yeah. So, good catch. Dad reflexes. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us again on this little adventure. Thank you to Vincent, Jeremy Soul, Guild of Ambience, Sirenscape. You guys are all so awesome for letting us use the music and the sound effects for these games. Everybody check them out for your own tabletop experiences. The Sirenscape is great for battles and combats with different sound effects and stuff. And Heromuster, once again, thank you so much for that product. It's been so helpful for us. And as always, check out the Dream Podcast, guys. They're running another actual play in Open Legend. There's not a lot out there, so give them some love at Dice Rule Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And you can listen to them anywhere you find your podcasts. I love to listen to them on Spotify. And we'll see you guys next week.